Hey guys, Furum here, and today I'm going to be testing the Trion Nemesis in multiplayer in Asphalt 9. I received this car to make an in-depth review of it on the Asphalt channel, so I will link that in the description if you would like to see it. So I have a maxed car, rank 4344, with all upgrades and import parts applied. Now this first race here actually shows a bit of this car's comeback power. You will see what I mean. It is on one of the new Rome tracks. I'm not entirely sure what it's called, but it is super annoying. It's one of my least favorite tracks for multiplayer in the entire game, along with the Rome track that goes the other direction because of these narrow ways at the beginning, and I got knocked down because he squished me to the side. I mean, really, in this section where you can hardly fit two cars side by side, you're almost always going to either get knocked down or knock down someone else if there's a bunch of people at the beginning of the race. I mean, this is a 6-player race, and of course I'm the only one who gets knocked down, it seems. That's what happens a lot. Anyway, so this car has very bad nitro efficiency. However, it has good acceleration to make up for that, sort of. It also has extremely high top speed, the second highest top speed in the game, only next to the Regera, I believe, and its handling and drifting are extremely good. I actually find this car to be very fun to drive, just about as much as the Bugatti Chiron actually, and definitely more fun to drive than the Regera, simply because of its extremely good handling. It just gets around corners amazingly. And even though this car has one of the worst nitro efficiencies in the entire game, might be third worst or something like that, I'm not entirely sure, even with that, it is extremely fun to drive, mainly because you can just keep up your speed so well in other ways a lot of the time, and you really just don't notice the horrible nitro efficiency in a lot of cases. At least that's from my experience with driving the car. So at the end of the first lap, we passed that guy, just get further ahead in the second lap, and beat this Fenner, as well as those F12 TDFs and that Icona, who came in last somehow. Speaking of Iconas, we have a very close race here against, actually, an Icona, which is why I said speaking of Iconas. I wouldn't have said that otherwise. Anyways, we get a bit hung up at the beginning of this race, causing us to fall behind a bit, but thankfully this car has good acceleration. It is almost exactly 80. It's like 79.98 or something. I don't know why they couldn't have made it like 0.2 higher. I just want to see that 80, guys. So Himalayas is one of the best tracks for this Chiron, especially this one, Frozen Route, and Mountain Pulse. That is, if you don't get hung up at the beginning, because the thing is, there's many places where you can get up to a pretty high speed and keep it for a while. Mountain Pulse is probably a bit better than Frozen Route because this beginning is not especially great, and it's not made any better when people don't let you go up barrel rolls very high. But we're still able to pass him, but then he passes me again. But then I do a bunch of speed stuff to get up to speed, and then we pass this guy. Thankfully, he doesn't knock me down there. I was so afraid that I was going to get knocked down because I've had such bad luck with knockdowns. And then we have a weird thing in that barrel, and this is the part where you just stay in your top speed for so long. You can see 280 there without nitro, and I was just cruising up on this guy here. Now this ending is extremely weird, so I go around here, shockwave up to him, don't pass him, but come in first somehow. We finish at the exact same frame, actually, at least according to what the game shows. And even though I saw myself being slightly behind him at the end of the race, I still got the victory. I'm not complaining, of course, but it's just a little weird. I guess it's to make up for all the bad luck I've had in the rest of the multiplayer season. So this is on another Himalayas track. This is one of the new ones, not exactly sure what it's called, but I actually like this one quite a bit. It was kind of hard at first, but I drove it so much in the final day of the Bugatti Chiron event. You guys may have seen my video about that I learned it pretty well, and now if I drive a fast car such as the Trion Nemesis, which honestly handles a lot like the Chiron, I just sort of drive it in the same way. Now obviously I do have to keep in mind the bad nitro efficiency. I can't be using nitro everywhere, but overall this variant is actually a very good variant for cars that have high top speed but maybe not so great other stuff, because you can get up to speed in a good few parts of the track. Now the guy behind us is actually Pro Jawad in his 6-star Trion as well. So yeah, this was a battle between two 6-star Trions. His was almost maxed out. Oh, and I just want to say one real quick thing to all those people who are probably going to be commenting about how unfair it is that I get another car for free. You try spending 10 hours a week on videos for many years in a row and tell me that you don't deserve some sort of reward. Yeah, I thought so. So the second lap passes here without any issues. He does manage to catch up to us a bit closer, but we do manage to pull out the victory. Now this next race is a quite intense battle with a W Motors Fenner Super Sport, which I do plan to make a video about this season. So as I said, in this race we are facing a Fenner Supersport. He is actually above 4,000 rank as well, so this should be pretty interesting. And now for something I hate a lot, bumping players from behind and losing all your speed. But not all hope is lost. I drift so that I can shockwave up this ramp, and it seems like this tactic worked because I was able to then 360 off here and be much faster than that Viper, who we then knocked down. But then of course the Fenner passed us, which is a much stronger opponent than the Viper. So now we have higher top speed car versus higher nitro efficiency car. And I think this track specifically, or this variant of this track I should say, is pretty well balanced. It has some places where you can get up to a high speed, not sure what happened back there, but also has plenty of turns and stuff where a car with bad nitro efficiency might not be able to get too much of speed out. What? Let's try that again. It also has many turns where a car with bad nitro efficiency might not be able to get up to a very high speed after coming out of them. Did that make any more sense? I really do hope so. So here I go left. Usually I go to the right, but I didn't really feel like messing with him at this time because I have, for some reason, really bad problems with passing people. In my Regera, there were 2 races in a row where literally I was passing somebody in midair with a 360 going and they knocked me down even though I was going faster than them and I was on the top of them or something. It's really weird. You see what I'm talking about? Bad luck. And I know I'm not the only one, but yeah, if you also get bad luck in this season, maybe this will make you feel a little better or something to know that you're not the only one. I get very bad luck as well. So there we passed that Fenner. However, he is still on our tail, so I want to be careful to keep as much speed as I could because he is literally right there with me. But here, I do start to pull away a little bit, and the car does a bunch of spins. Not exactly sure why. I thoroughly enjoyed driving this car and using it to record these races, and I will say that if you're not too impressed with the Trion's performance at low stars, keep playing that event. I promise you, it is worth it once you can start up a good bit, because as you can see in this video, if you can keep up your speed, I mean, it just blows almost everything away. We even have a race with a Regera later in this video where, well, I'm not going to spoil it, you'll just have to wait and see. So we come in first here after a quite intense 2-lap race, and we show that Fenner who's the boss. Now, on this next race, which is on another one of the newer Himalayan variants, we have a Porsche 918, Huayra BC, VLF Force V10, F12 TDF, but more importantly, a Koenigsegg Regera. This Regera is above 4170 rank, so yes, pretty high and pretty fast, and it's the only car in the game that is faster than the Trion Nemesis, so the 2 speed beasts against each other on a track that is, well, pretty well fitted for them. Maybe not this variant in particular, but the track in general. So some of you may remember that I titled my Trion Nemesis video from previously, which was 3-star or something, where some people gave me races. Anyway, in that one, I called it something like the SLK of Asphalt 9. Well, it's actually not. You see, the Regera is more like the SLK of Asphalt 9, because it's not especially nimble, and it doesn't start up too fast and all that, but the Trion actually seems quite nimble. And what in the world is happening? Why did it spin 3 extra times? I have no idea. That slows you down, it's kind of annoying, I don't know what to do with it, and don't flat spin there or else you'll probably wreck on something. Thankfully, I didn't, but this Regera is catching up a bit closer to us. And this section on the ice lake and stuff, you have to be very careful in with cars that have bad nitro efficiency. Just go around the snow bits and save your nitro for the ice cave. In the second lap, he does not catch up, and we come in first, but GG to him. Very good race. So now for the final race, which is on Scotland against a couple VLFs and a Huayra BC, and one other car, an F12 TDF. So now it's time for my general review about this car. So first off, yes, it is definitely worth it. If you haven't been playing the event or haven't been playing it much, definitely keep playing it, because I can tell you that at higher stars especially, it starts getting really good. That is, if you can learn to control it. You see, you can't drive it exactly like you can another car. Because of its bad nitro efficiency, you need to wait usually for ramps to use nitro on. You really shouldn't use it too much just on the ground. Maybe use it around curves and stuff like this. But yeah, for the most part, nitro in this car should only be used when going up ramps. This car's good acceleration and good drifting and handling all as well will help you to keep higher speed, even with the bad nitro efficiency. And oftentimes, I personally would actually choose this car in multiplayer over my 4-star Regera, although my 4-star Chiron is still #1 for me. But to sum it up, it's a great car. If you don't have it yet, go for it. If you do have it, keep getting those blueprints. And maybe you could be the next nemesis of the track. You see what I did there? Anyways, second lap passes without problem, and we come in first. Thank you all for watching. Please like the video if you enjoyed, and consider subscribing for more Asphalt 8 and 9 content. And I will see you in my next video. Goodbye!